Hi, my name is Linda Eadie, and I'm a Florida author. And I'm here today to discuss some of the books that I have written. And I'm a member of the Florida Writers Association and also Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And I was asked recently on Twitter what inspired me to write. And actually, it's who inspired me to write. And I would have to go back and say that it was my grandmother. When I was a little girl, we didn't have cell phones. So we had telephones, but we didn't have cell phones. And so, but it cost money to pick up the phone and call long distance back then, believe it or not. It wasn't a 1-800 number or anything like that. So we wrote letters. That's an art I think we've forgotten how to do. Anyway, so instead of writing my grandmother a letter, I would write my grandmother a story and I would illustrate the stories. And she thought I was wonderful. So I count her as my inspiration for what I enjoy doing today. I'm a graduate of the University of Florida. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in education. I taught elementary school, middle school, and then also when I taught at the high school, I taught world history honors. And I guess that's why when I first started writing after I quit teaching, I started writing historical novels for children. And two of the novels that I taught wrote were The Alligator Warrior, Halbata Tuscanuggy, and Pedro Menendez, The Adelantado of Florida. Both of these novels would be excellent tools for parents that are today teaching their children at home, which so many parents are doing because of the pandemic that is happening at the moment. Because they do include historical references in them, like vocabulary. There's a historical timeline in there. There's a historical map that a parent or teacher could use. There's also a who's who in here. There's a dictionary in here. The book is divided, both books are divided into 3 sections, and they're excellent tools for Florida history. They are written for children. I would say if a child is a good reader, a child as young as 6 could read these books, but also a child as old as 13 would enjoy these books. Let's start with this one, Alligator Warrior. This is a story about a Seminole Indian who lived in Lake City, Florida, which was once called Alligator Town. And the lake there, the large lake, big lake, is called Alligator Lake. And there's also a park there where the statue of alligator is present there, is also named after him. The book is full of humorous and also rich Seminole culture all the way through. So it's a fun read for children. Pedro Menendez was the founder of the oldest existing city in the United States. A lot of people think that not Jamestown, but Jamestown was settled, but actually this St. Augustine is the oldest existing town in the United States. A lot of people think that the first Thanksgiving happened in Plymouth with the Pilgrims, but actually 50 plus years before was St. Augustine with Pedro Menendez. Instead of serving turkey and stuffing for Thanksgiving, maybe we should have had Thanksgiving on September 8th when he landed in 1565, and we may have been serving what the Timucua Indians brought, which would have been seafood, and the Spanish, what they brought would have been a salted pork and bean stew. Quite different than what we serve today. But the story is told through the eyes of a cabin boy named Rocco. And again, this is a children's book, and it's not just about him settling St. Augustine, but it's about his adventure along the coast of Florida, all the way around meeting all the first tribes in Florida. as I said, I also joined not only the Florida Writers Association, but I also joined the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And I began writing young adult books for girls. And this one was one of the first ones that I wrote, Jenniferology, which was a really fun read for me to write. And it was a Royal Palm Literary Award winner in 2009. And I had such a great time writing this book. It was a lot of fun. If you think about a girl, 15 years old, and she is upset. Her parents had a divorce a couple of years earlier, and she feels left out. She's mad. Her lifestyle has changed. Everything seems to be going not her way. She's angry about her lifestyle changes that have been made. And so what does she do? She does what a lot of teenagers do. They rebel. And her mother has had it with her. And her grandmother, who she hasn't seen in years, has moved from up north and has moved to Florida. And she lives in a retirement community in Florida in a little town called, which is fictional, Flamingo Junction, and a mobile home park that's a retirement community on a lake. That's a golf course also, and a retirement community called Camelot. And so her grandmother said, bring her down here to me. I'll take care of her. I'll get special permission for a few months for her to live here with me. And her mom says, sure, I'll do that. And the girl's, what? No way. I am not going to live with my grandmother and all her friends who moved to Florida to die. Okay. And it's fun. It is a fun read. And Jennifer, of course, acts out with these ladies, her grandmother and her friends, but at the same time, she finds that her grandmother and her friends have a zest for life, and they also define to Jennifer what it is to have what unconditional love is. So maybe it takes a retirement village to raise a child. So it's a fun read. The next one that I wrote was Don't Kiss and Tell, which has a serious subject matter, which is sexual abuse. 1 in 4 girls, 18 years of age, come to find out, have been sexually abused sometime in their lifetime. And 80% of young girls knew their abuser. It could have been a family member. It could have been a friend of a family. It could have been someone in the church. It could have been a teacher. And in this story, it's a teacher. And Coral is a 14-year-old girl who feels shunned. She's a freshman in high school. She feels shunned by her best friend. And the predator, as I said, was a teacher. And he's not only a teacher, but he's the most popular teacher. So who would believe her? It's a really good read. I encourage young girls to read that story. The next book, Mistaken Identity, or My Mistaken Identity, and I wanted to bring that up because this was the cover and the title when it was first released, and this is the new release. So I wanted to show that to you. So if you see this book, it's the same book. Okay, same story, but this is the new release cover. This is a psychological thriller. Tuesday Greenwood is a recording artist, sitcom star, and she has what every girl wants. She has money, she has success, she has beauty, she has talent. Everybody wants to be Tuesday Greenwood except Tuesday Greenwood. There's a dark side that lurks there. There's a secret that even she won't tell about herself. And this secret is about to explode, and it almost kills her. And it's a great read. It's a fun read. And as Plato said, things are not always what they seem. And that's the story of Mistaken Identity. I have one more I want to share with you. It's my most recent book, Yearning for the Unattainable. It was also a finalist in the Royal Palm Literary Award in 2019. And I'm going to start out by saying, what's that thing called where your crush loves you back? Oh, yeah, your imagination. That's it, right? Have you ever yearned for someone that's unattainable? Okay. And can you keep a secret? And especially if that person that you want so bad asks you to keep a secret for them, of course you would, right? Especially if it's them. And even if you know that you shouldn't, you do. And even if you know that person is wrong for you, you still do. And even if you think you can change that person, you still do, don't you? Because you think you can change them, right? You think you can make it work. You really believe it deep down that you can make this work. And are you willing to lie for them? Yes. You're willing to do anything for them, aren't you? Yes. Okay. This Gentry is a newcomer. She's innocent. She falls in love, and she's drawn into a portal that nearly takes her life. And that's Yearning for the Unattainable. I want to thank the Florida Writers Association, of course, and SCBWI. I want to thank the Sunshine State Book Festival. I want to thank Jolene McFadden. I want to thank my readers for turning the page. Thank you.